Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to what might be one of the most interesting games that I've ever played. So one night I was bored, and I was playing a little bit of Civ, as anyone does, and I loaded up this save file, and I played it out, and I managed to do some pretty incredible things. I managed to make an absolutely massive empire, but I didn't want, I want to, recreate it because it was such an interesting game. And so that's why we're here. And we're playing as Babylon. And the really important thing about Babylon is this ability right here. Eurekas provide all of the science for technologies, minus 50 science per turn. Now, that means if we want to research currency, all we have to do is make a trade route. And we have currency researched. If we want to research bronze working, we kill 3 barbarians and we have bronze working. And now the genesis of this game was to do something a little bit insane. It was to do a biosphere tourism game. Now, in order to do a biosphere tourism game, you have to get solar farms and wind farms alongside the biosphere. Now, the really important thing about that is because we're playing Babylon, you can kind of solve the maze backwards. You can go to the goal you want to get to and then work your way backwards from there. So if we want to get solar farms, we have to get 2 broadcast centers. If we want to get broadcast centers, we have to build a national park. National park is in the culture tree. So we know we're going to need a lot of culture to get to conservation to be able to get naturalists. So that's one part of the puzzle solved. If we want to get wind farms, we have to own 3 tanks. In order to own 3 tanks, we have to extract an artifact. So already, 2 of our 3 goals are heavily on the culture side of things, and they occupy this northern half of the tech tree, right? Because we have to get to natural history and conservation. So we know that we're going to want a lot of theater squares this game. We're going to want to rush our monuments. We're going to want to have a strong, robust culture game. Now, the third part of this is the biosphere. And at first you look like build 2 aerodromes. That's like impossible. But then you go look at flight. And in order to build aerodromes and unlock this, all you have to do is unlock an industrial era wonder. So we just have to go to the industrial era in any of these trees and be like, okay, I can build Statue of Liberty, Bolshoi Theater, Hermitage, any of those will work. And then you realize that there is this glorious wonder right here, the Ruhr Valley. Now, this wonder is really important because in order to unlock the Ruhr Valley, all we have to do is build 2 workshops. In order to build workshops, all we have to do is build 3 mines. In order to build 3 mines, all we have to do is get mining. So we could literally go mining, into apprenticeship, into industrialization, into flight, into biosphere. We are 5 techs away from biosphere. And the only thing between me and biosphere is 1 builder and production. Now that is insane. Then in order to unlock the other 2 parts of my trifecta, I just need a little bit of culture. I just need to make some culture and we're fine. So that is why the Babylon biosphere tourism game is insane. And we're going to try to pull it off today. Oh, and did I mention, because I'm Babylon, the first building inside specialty districts is automatically built the first time I build a specialty district. So the first time that I build an industrial zone, the workshop will automatically be built. So I only actually have to build 2 industrial zones and a workshop, and then I get the Ruhr Valley. It's ridiculous. So we're going to step onto this hill. We want to settle on Plains Hills because Plains Hills have the unique property of giving +1 production to your capital city, or to your city center rather. And by moving here, we haven't moved any further away from this 2 food 2 production tile, and we want to be working these 2 food production tiles as much as possible in the early game. Now, the third most difficult part of this is getting the neighborhood, but that kind of follows along with the culture angle of things, so we're just going to want to have a lot of culture in this game. All right, settle on the Plains Hill immediately with Babylon. I'm going to get started on Babylon's unique unit, the Sabum Kibitum, because it's very good at exploring, and it's also very good at unlocking Eurekas, potentially defeating barbarian encampments. I may even build 2 of these. Quite a powerful unit in the early game. It's a little bit weaker than the warrior, but it is strong against cavalry. It's a very, very good alternative to the scout, considering it can also fight and be upgraded into useful units. Now look, we have found Hattusa. Very nice to meet you, Hattusa. And we are very lucky to be the very first person to meet Hattusa, so we get +1 science in our capital city, which means we get mining quite a bit faster. That extra envoy will also pay dividends over the course of the game. They want me to construct a holy site. That probably won't happen this game, but that's okay. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't choose to settle on the luxury, and it's for a very simple reason. Gypsum can be improved with mining, and that's like the first tech I'm going for, so it's a very easy one to improve. Additionally, by settling on this Plains Hill, I don't actually move away from this 2 food, 2 production tile. If I had settled on the gypsum, I wouldn't have been adjacent to the 2 food, 2 production tile, so I wouldn't have been able to have a really, really strong start out of the gate. It's not a bad place to settle, but I do think that the Plains Hill is stronger because it settles naturally next to this, and improving this is quite trivial. We'll be able to do it with a builder very quickly. You could make the gypsum work, in my opinion. I just preferred the Plains Hill for the reason that I could work the 2-2 tile without having to spend gold to buy it. We've also met Samarkand. Very nice to meet you, Samarkand. We were the first to meet Samarkand. They want me to train an archer. That's an important mission to keep in mind. We will want to do that before the ancient era is over. They'll give me +2 gold in my capital, which is quite valuable, I might add. So we have our Sabatum Kibitum. Let's go exploring. The great thing about these units is they have +1 vision range, so they're incredible. And I mean incredible for exploring. We aren't ready yet to build a settler. I could go for the monument here if I wanted to go for a fast government plaza. I kind of would like to go for a fast government plaza because that would allow me to get the settler thing. But I think my goal this game is to play Locust Babylon. Locust Babylon is a way of playing in which you go for a relatively high gold income by selling off all of your resources, and then you use Magnus to chop out as many settlers in as many cities as possible. So Locust Babylon is my play here, so I don't think a monument is quite as important as it would normally be. While the +1, the builder is quite useful, but I think getting the second Sabum Kibitum is important to be able to defend from barbarians and also explore. The more knowledge I have of the map, the better. What are the numbers up here in the top? So this is a new mod that I'm trying out. It basically lets you know the status of your empire at a glance. So you can see here, the central number tells you how happy your cities are. So if there's a 1 in the very center, that means one city is content and has neutral amenities. If they're on the right, that means they're negative in amenities. And if they're on the left, that means they're positive amenities, I believe. I can't remember exactly how it works. And it's the same thing for the housing. It's basically just a UI mod that I'm trying out. There's a tribal village over here. We will want to pick that up. All right, yoink that. We got +1 envoy. So the probability of who we want to be suzerain of, it's most likely Hattusa, but we would want another envoy to be suzerain of Hattusa. So I'll just hold on to this envoy for now, in case I meet another city-state that I don't automatically get an envoy with, that I want to build a relationship with. So a scout has found us. I'll attack him to get a little bit of experience on my Sabum Kibitum. We found another tribal village. That's beautiful. Now we need to start thinking about our next move. I think a settler here is a big deal. It allows me to scale my empire, so I'm going to get to work on a settler. I've built a couple of military units. I'm able to defend myself quite readily. You could make an argument for going for a builder right now. I think sneaking in the settler makes sense. I'll also need to start planning my cities in the near future. The important thing down here, though, is I have potentially 2 viable locations for industrial zones, and that's something I do want to keep in mind. We've met the Congo, and we have access to riding now, so we could get a very early campus if we so chose. There's also a barbarian encampment over here. I'm going to go ahead and send a delegation to Congo to try to improve our relationship with them, just to make sure that we have good diplomatic standing. I do think a settler right here is the right move. I'll need to start cranking out settlers. Possibly after this settler, a builder would make sense if I have the improvable tiles. Tribal village, yoink. A boost towards early empire is a big deal. So there's definitely a city down here. I'm not sure where I want to put it. If I were to put it somewhere, I'm trying to remember how I did this in the other game. In my mind, there's 2 locations that are valid for me to settle this city. If I settle here on the rice, I get a city center tile that has +1 food, and I'm adjacent to a ton of these nice resources here. Just so you guys know, if you're not at war with a city-state, you don't need to be suzerain of them in order to get the bonuses. These bonuses are automatic. In order to get the suzerain bonus, you have to be suzerain. And if you're at war with the suzerain of a city-state, you get none of the bonuses. So that's why it's always a good idea just to sit on your envoys. People think that if I have an envoy, I must spend it. But if we think about this critically, what does spending my envoy right now get me? It doesn't get me anything, right? It doesn't actually get me anything. I'll go up to 2 envoys in Samarkand. I don't get suzerainty. I don't unlock another bonus. And the same is true for Hattusa. So I may as well save this envoy. Now, in my mind, what I kind of feel like doing is maybe building an aqueduct in this city, because I will want to build at least 1 aqueduct this game in order to get the military engineering tech unlocked, which will give me access to niter. Niter is quite a powerful tile to get access to. And then I would maybe do something like an industrial zone adjacent to that. Then perhaps I would do a dam here and an industrial zone here. So both of these cities could potentially have really good industrial zones. I could alternatively put my industrial zone here, put another aqueduct there, maybe plop my Ruhr Valley on that tile right there too. Potentially, this is starting to look like a viable way to get my 2 industrial zones this game. 2 + 5 industrial zones seems pretty reasonable. It's exactly the kind of thing I want to go for. The question is, do I want to go for a religion this game? I think I'm going to skip religion, even though I really like religion. Oh, hello. I have met Taruga, of all city-states. I was not the first to meet Taruga. And this is exactly why we sit on that 1 envoy, because now I can put an envoy into Taruga and pick up the 1 science in the capital and in every library building. Boom. +1 science per turn. There's not that many mines in the city. You don't need a lot of mines in a city in order for it to be a viable Ruhr Valley city. You really don't. Now, the alternative here is I slip this city down 1 tile. I basically do roughly the same configuration, but instead I settle on the rice and then have earlier access to these 2 food, 2 production tiles. And I think this line of production is what appeals to me right now. I'm not sure. We have access to mining, which means theoretically, with a single builder, we have access to apprenticeship. And we will be wanting to rush apprenticeship this game because mines are super valuable. We have access to writing. I think we should start off picking up things like pottery and animal husbandry. These are relatively cheap technologies that can't be boosted, so we should get them out of the way. We are going to want to farm a resource, so I'll need to keep in mind that possibly this maze will form an important part of my opening strategy. So I may go for a builder after this settler, improve the gypsum, which I believe is improved with a quarry, which will give me masonry. It'll also give me a luxury to potentially sell to the AI. I'll also be able to improve this maze and possibly put a mine here, which gets me 1 step closer to my goal. And by the time I have all that done, I should be a little bit closer to maybe getting a builder. So there are barbs on the map, so picking up discipline seems quite good. I think it would be nice to pick up a Pantheon this game. Urban planning is quite good too. How much do I care about a Pantheon is the real question. Do I care that much? Essentially what I'm doing is I'm giving up quite a bit of early game production in exchange for some kind of Pantheon. What Pantheon actually changes the game for me here? Now, if it's the free builder Pantheon, that's a big deal actually, because that's worth 50 production. So I think if I go for the free builder Pantheon, God King is worth it. So that's the Pantheon. That's my backup Pantheon. If I can find a Pantheon with better value, then I'll take a Pantheon with better value. But if I can get the free builder, that's actually worth it to plug in God King. I will be boosting craftsmanship, and I would like to get foreign trade. So I'm going to slowly work on foreign trade. No, actually, I'm going to rush for state workforce. So going settler, builder, maybe astrology. I'll either be building a campus or a holy site, depending on the direction I go. I think I'm going to rush my government plaza as Babylon so I can get that free settler. I think that's what I want to do. So I think I'll also want to get a monument in here at some point. There is a barb camp up here to the north, so I want to keep abreast of that. Oh God, a new camp here is not good actually. Another tribal village, yoink. A level up for this unit is not really useful or what I was looking for. There are lots of luxuries out here to the west. I'm seeing a couple of furs. I'd like to pick up at least one of those. Go step on this tile and we'll fortify until we heal. My one worry is quadriremes over here, making this camp hard to clear, but it should be fine. Settler is moving out to the new location. We'll probably go like builder monument. Oh, meteors fell. I'm going to go see if I can snipe those. I think I'm going to bring my warrior back to start helping to clear out barb camps that might appear. We've gotten some good exploration off in the early game. And yeah, look, barb camps are starting to appear like crazy, so I need more units defending. I need to see. I don't think I'm going to be able to snipe that meteor village, unfortunately. Although I might be able to if they don't grab it. I've already been explored by this scout, which is like really tragic. But the chariot spawn will be huge for clearing out barb camps. The notification log that appears over here is absolutely a mod that lets you know what happened. It's really, really useful. Let's get to work on animal husbandry. It's the only tech that we can't boost in the tech tree. I may want to get myself a slinger to unlock archery because I believe one of the city-states had a mission. Man, he already scouted me. That is so frustrating. But I do have the chariot now to fight this off. This guy's blocking me too. Let's go ahead and settle on this rice. Now, the important thing about settling on rice is the rice still exists underneath the city. And so the city is making 3 food, 1 production. If I were to come up with a strategy for the city of Mashkin, it would probably be to get Magnus in here as soon as possible and start chopping. In order to get Magnus in here as soon as possible and start chopping, I would either need to build a district in order to unlock state workforce in a reasonable amount of time, or get a monument in order to unlock it faster as well. There's actually a +4 campus here if I spend the money. I'm going to spend the money. Is there a forest on that tile? I think I can accept not chopping that forest for a +4 campus this early. So I'm going to buy this tile. Yes, that'll spawn a barb and make my life more difficult. It will enrage these barbs so they'll start attacking the city, but it gives me a chance to like place my campus, and I'll just put a couple turns into a monument until this stuff is all dead. Yeah, so I can't work on that campus until this stuff is dead, but this will level up my guy. He'll probably counterattack. He shouldn't do much damage. I'll level him up and we'll be all good. So he counterattacked me. I lost a little bit of health. But now I can take the Battle Cry promotion, which will give me extra combat strength against him. So if he attacks me again, he's done for. I can finally improve this quarry. I always forget to turn off the builder lens because I hate the builder lens. I can boom. There's gypsum, boosting masonry. I can immediately sell gypsum. Let's actually use the quick deals mod. I can immediately sell gypsum for 89 gold or 4 gold per turn. This is 89 gold. This is worth roughly 124 gold over 30 turns. Do I have anything that I could buy for gold right now? If I were to do that, that would change the game significantly. I don't actually think so, except a builder. If I were able to actually buy a builder down here in this city, that does change the game significantly. So I think I'm going to sell this gypsum, accept that deal, and immediately purchase myself a builder. And this builder, I'll slap it right down on the maze, which will boost me into the Palgum, which is my other unique thing for this era. And that gives me a huge amount of food and production. And that'll be just a massive boost because I have a ton of river tiles and freshwater tiles in my empire. All right, let's clean up this barb. Boom. Now we can finally get to work on building the campus, which is going to be an important component in unlocking state workforce. We'll research craftsmanship for 1 more turn because we're on the verge of actually boosting it. We build the farm, immediately get access to irrigation so we can place plantations now too. And even clear out more resources. I think I'll put a mine on that tile. Because this city actually, if I clear out a lot of this forest and hill stuff, the city will have a decent number of Ruhr Valley tiles. But even so, the real power of Ruhr Valley isn't the +1 production for each mine and quarry in the city. The real power of Ruhr Valley is the 20% production in the city. That's the real power. Now, they combine together really powerfully. But even if you only have like 4 or 5 mines in a city, still build the Ruhr Valley. Like 20% production is an insane boost. And the question is, what do I do with this builder now that he is kind of redundant for now? I could theoretically just hold on to him for a while I think about, I could save him for chopping. That's what I'll do. I'll save him for chopping when I get Magnus. Let's make sure we chase down this scout. We don't want to let him get away. So here's an important little optimization. This city is going to grow in 2 turns, regardless of whatever tile we work here. So working this maze is not worth it. And this is when micromanaging your people comes in handy, because that's an extra like 4 production I'm getting that I otherwise wouldn't be getting towards this campus. We need this campus done ASAP. So we can't afford to wait for growth, basically. We have met Peter. Nice to meet you, Peter. It's a lot of barb units. Gonna hopefully stand here and bait some attacks. Since we met Peter, let's send him also a delegation. Oh, I forgot to swap craftsmanship. Okay. If you forget to swap your culture thing, if you mash the click button in a turn transition, you can switch it before the culture is applied. So I just saved myself a tiny bit of culture. If I fortify, I'll take slightly less damage and then be able to heal next turn. I can get this kill. There's bronze working unlocked, so we have found access to iron. Let's place our first mine. Boom. There's craftsmanship boosted, so we saved a tiny bit of culture doing that. We'll get to work on state workforce because we want our government plaza ASAP. There's like potentially like theater squares and stuff here, which means maybe a government plaza here is quite good because it boosts a few districts. Oh, there's an iron mine here. Yeah, we're absolutely going for that iron mine. That's huge. Picking up an iron mine would give me ironworking, which would give me swordsman. It would also give me iron to sell to the AI. This is huge to pick up this iron mine right here. Tribal village, yoink. There's the wheel. Okay, we were going to get wheel and archery for free anyway, but now I can actually build an archer and fulfill the mission for Samarkand and get one step closer to suzerainty of them. So I definitely want to get an archer at some point this era. And we are just taking tons of damage, but I'm going to go ahead and promote my warrior here. I'll promote him with Battlecry because Battlecry is the most generally useful promotion. Tortoise does give them twice as much defense against ranged attacks, whereas Battlecry is like a 50% or like maybe 60% attack increase against other units. But since I'm going to be making some attacks here in a moment, I think that's the right move. We've also got Heavy Chariot. I'm going to take Charge. Charge actually gives chariots the ability to kill barbarian encampments. Oh, natural wonder. There's Mount Everest. So if I had found that a little bit earlier, I could have actually rushed a holy site in here and gotten state workforce slightly sooner. I still may actually build a holy site. It's not always a terrible idea just to have a little bit of extra faith in a game. Faith can sometimes come in useful in certain areas. In particular, yes, I'm going to want to have faith. Does anyone know why I want to have faith this game? I'm asking chat. Why do I want to have some faith this game? Who's been paying attention? National Park, you got it right away, user lame. Well done. National Park, perfect. Well done. I want just a little bit of faith for a national park. So I'm going to chop this tile and place a holy site on it. I don't need much faith, but I do need a little bit. Oh my sweet Christ, how many barbs are here? Well, I could use my chariot to start clearing some out. This is too many barbs. This is way too many. So now I want to start researching something that I don't think I'm going to be able to get a boost for. I'm almost certainly going to be building a pasture and all that sort of stuff. I assume, yeah, there's like horses over here. Is this a slower speed game? No, I'm playing Babylon, which means my science is awful. It's very unlikely that most of these are going to get boosted. So the one that I should research is the one that I'm least likely to do in time. And that's probably sailing, but that's also the easiest one to do. It's probably sailing and shipbuilding because I can get the rest of these all relatively easily. All I have to do is build a trade route. I'm about to get this one anyway. This one is my unique building, so I can get it really easily. This one's really easy to get. This one's really easy to get. This one's really easy to get. This is super easy to get. I'm about to get it. This is easy to get. Yeah, so we're fine. We're fine. Is this deity difficulty? Why are the AI being friendly? The AI are being friendly because I sent them a delegation. And they met my Sabum Kibitum unit, which I assume has some sort of bonus for diplomacy when you meet people. But we've just been lucky. What do you think about AI mods? Any of them good? I haven't really tried them out. I don't really mind the AI not being the best ever, because I'm like, when I'm playing the game, I'm playing for me. Okay, we're taking hits. Let's just have this guy retreat. So we want to build our holy site. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively harvest. Now, this holy site is taking 12 production or 12 turns of production to build right now. If I come in here and I immediately harvest for 41 production and come back, and now the holy site is only 8 turns. So if the city production queue is clear, you can buffer production with chops, which is very powerful. So now I can get myself, in the long run, a decent holy site. This will automatically come with a shrine, and this should handle basically all of my faith concerns for the entire early game. It'll contribute towards me getting a specialty district in state workforce, and it'll contribute towards me unlocking mathematics by having 3 different specialty districts. So that's quite good. This campus is now a mistake. So I'm going to switch away from it. A little bit of wasted production down here. I'm probably going to go like monument builders now. Oh, I don't like this. He can't get my scout if this guy doesn't move. This is 3 move. He'll get zone of control, so I'm fine. He can't get my builder, so I'm fine. Yeah, I'll take your delegation. Thank you so much, Russia. My God. It's a little bit scary dealing with this level of invasion this early. We killed another barb unit, which is quite useful. So we've kind of cleared out our local area. We're building infrastructure. 2 slingers is not bueno. If I go here, he should continue to attack me and lose his health. Okay, he didn't actually attack, which is weird. Let's go ahead and buy the iron. I know I probably shouldn't spend my money like that early game, but I needed it. Oh, there's some lovely land down here to settle. We've got furs, we've got horses. Now, my capital city actually does need to get to 4 population here. So rather than work the gypsum, I'm going to work that. I'll need to harvest one of these jungles in order to force the city up to the 4 population that I want. It's just not growing fast enough. 17 turns is too slow. So stand here. Okay, Slinger came forward into a dangerous spot, and now we can kill him. Perfect, then he's dead. Pop down the mine here. Iron mine, boom. Now we get iron working and, theoretically, apprenticeship. Wait, 1? 2? I only built 2 mines. Okay, that's not ideal. Oh, I forgot this is a quarry. So how much food is this? If I harvest this, this is 22 food. In order to grow, to pop 4, to place my other district, I need 31 food. So by the time I get state workforce, this should work out just fine. Boom, chop, 2 turns. Yes, it kind of sucks that it didn't work out exactly as I wanted it to. It'll be fine. Okay, Gorgo does not like me. I'm expecting her to be aggressive this game. We're definitely having a barbarian problem right now, which I'm not a big fan of because I do have infrastructure that I don't want to die. Like this quarry here is quite useful to me. But there's the holy site. There's state workforce boosted. We're 4 turns from growing and getting state workforce, so we're fine. Objectively, we're fine. So we should be able to get this no problem. I'm going to grab myself an archer and maybe try to bait him into attacking across the river. So they pillaged. Fine. This is too many barbs. I'm sorry, but this is too many. This is an like I've never seen this many barbs. When I originally did my first version of this game, I don't think I ran into that many barbs. So I can get a free builder in my capital, which is definitely what I want. So I'm going to take fertility rights because I want that free builder. Builders are important to me this game. You're immediately going to head down here, chop out this so I can get this archer faster and grow the city and get a mine somewhere. Oh, I should have put him there. That would have been better. This is like an unreasonable number of barbs. Like, this is too many. The game, like, this is an unfun number of barbarians that I'm dealing with currently. All right, so I'll get my archer next turn, which is good. Shoot him, kill him, attack there. Now I can get my government plaza. I'm going to put my government plaza here. Although it's probably not good to put it on a floodable tile because if that gets flooded, I'm in bad shape. Now we can get Magnus and appoint Magnus into Miskan Shapir. Send... I can't repair that this turn. It's fine. You know, I'm not going to be building this aqueduct for a while. I'm just going to build the mine because I need to get apprenticeship ASAP because it's +1 production on like 1, 2, 3 tiles. It's a big deal. It's a huge amount of production that I've just been missing out on because I got delayed. Now I'll start working towards early empire. Do I change my government? I have my Pantheon, so I no longer need God King. I'm going to go ahead and plug in urban planning. I'll keep discipline in. +2 production in both of my cities is quite useful. This is like... No, he's on my iron. How did he get there without me noticing? God damn it. Just don't pillage it. Just don't All right, we'll take the time to heal the city up. Let's go ahead and sell all of our iron. 14 gold per turn from the Congo. That's huge. We're definitely taking 14 gold per turn. My economy just literally quadrupled or quintupled, maybe. Yeah, from 3 gold per turn to 17 gold per turn. How could you ever turn down such a good deal? At the very least, repairing is free. It just takes time. So it's not the worst outcome. This gold will almost exclusively be used to make builders and settlers. We need to get to political philosophy now. They're going to steal my camp. No. Unacceptable. Do you know how hard I worked for this camp, Hattusa? This is insane that you would even consider this. The world enters the classical era. I didn't really get the era score I wanted for the classical era. It's not the end of the world. We have access to foreign trade now. That's a quad. It's not good. If Hattusa just fortifies on this tile, I may actually have an aneurysm. Like the AI is just screwing with me this game. I'm going to pick up Free Inquiry because my entire build as Babylon revolves around getting Eurekas. And that'll give me tons of era score this era. We have our government plaza. I maybe should have gone for a 3rd city here. I'm going to now... Do I want the Palgum? Let's think about our long-term returns here. A Palgum would give me +1 food on all of my freshwater tiles in the city. Palgum. I think I would like to build a Palgum. For 2 reasons. First of all, it's my unique building, but also it would allow this city to continue to grow while I'm cranking out settlers in it. That feels to me like a really good move. Like I'm getting my cake and eating it if I go for the Palgum here. It's a huge amount of food. At least 3, if not 4 of these tiles are freshwater tiles that I will be working. So that's 4 food, right? +2 production as well. Or I could just go for more settlers right now. Or I could go for more builders to send to Mashkan Shapir. If I sent more builders to Mashkan Shapir, there is power in that. I think the sheer power of the Giga Chop that I'm planning requires me to just make like 2 builders and send them down to Mashkan, because look at the Giga Chop available to me, right? There's just like an absurd number of tiles that I can improve and chop here in this city. I have enough envoy points to get suzerainty of someone, and I think I will take suzerainty of Hattusa, although I could also take suzerainty of them with a trade route, so that might not be the best move. It's the same with Taruga, actually. So really a trader should be a priority for me in this game right now as well. Especially because a trader will give me the gold that I need to buy tiles to continue to chop in Mashkin Shapir. So I'm going to go ahead and get a builder, then a trader. Yeah, that's perfect. Now, if we're going to go for Magnus, we could go for provision. I don't think you need provision when you're going for a Magnus Super Chop build. I could pick up Amani if I wanted to get suzerainty of a city-state. I don't think I care too much about the suzerainty of a city-state. I could pick up Liang for an extra build charge, and then if I spammed builders from my capital, that would make my Locust gameplay way more efficient. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Liang, place her in my capital. I'll get the trader first, so the builder will get +1 charge. And now the Locust build is engaged. So what we're going to do is we're going to use builders where Magnus is to chop out all of the tiles. I mean, all of the tiles. Literally everything will be getting chopped for resources to make builders and settlers. Then a new city will be settled, ideally in a big forest, and Magnus will be moved, and a whole bunch of new builders will be moved over there, and then we're going to go mass Locust. Builder repair icon. I forgot to repair the iron! We're messing up, boys. I can kill this spearman, but I'm worried that my chariot would die to the quadrireme. Really wouldn't have enough health left, so I'll just heal for a turn. Now that I'm starting to get into like, perfect, awesome. Okay, so we cleared this Barb camp. Now that I'm starting to get into certain things, like planning wise, I'll need to start thinking about what my settling strategy is. Like, where am I settling? I think over here is like a very obvious city. It's in the middle of a bunch of forests and choppable tiles. 1, 2, 3. I think right on the edge of the border with Congo is a very obvious city too. It secures me marble and has some choppable tiles. So this feels like a very natural border with me and the Congo. I definitely feel like there's a city here, like maybe between the horses and the furs, has like serious power. I feel like there's a city in here too. It's near enough to a few different things. Where would I settle if I was settling here? Settling here gets me these forests sooner. Settling one tile to the left gets me these forests sooner. I think I'll go for a more balanced approach. This one will require a lot of gold to hit all these tiles, but it will hit all of them. Maybe a city for the extra furs copy. 1, 2, 3. Possibly here. I like that location. So I'm definitely going to be expanding southeast and south, and then maybe west, and then grabbing the coastline. Coastline isn't useful as Babylon. We want to be looking for river cities. All right. Ideally, river cities and freshwater cities. That's what we want to be looking for as Babylon. So a city along here is pretty high value because we get access to the Palgam. Is it better to settle close to your cities now? I have a friendship with the Congo, which means he's very unlikely to go to war with. In fact, it's actually impossible for him to go to war with me. So forward settling him now is the right move because you get that out of the way. Because he can't actually attack me if I piss him off. The only person who can attack me right now is Gorgo. And she seems to have her plate full and doesn't hate me enough. Now, there could be an argument to plugging in Ilkham here because I'm cracking out builders really fast. This trader, I would like to send to Taruga. This is worth 3 gold and 1 sign, so I'm going to take that. So we'll send a trader to Taruga. This will give me +1 envoy. I could get another envoy in here if I wanted suzerainty. I'm going to yoink suzerainty of Hattusa just so I can start getting horse resources. Remember to repair the iron. Because I don't have horses improved, but I have access to Hattusa, I'll pick up their iron, plus I'll get horses, which I can sell to the AI. So this is like a really big economic boost for me is to pick up Hattusa here, because they give you that +2 of each strategic resource per turn that you have revealed but not improved. We have another governor title available. I could pick up zoning commissioner on Liang, which would allow me to build districts in the city slightly faster. Political philosophy is almost done. I should have had Magnus in position in the city, but I am going to harvest out the ancestral hall so I can build it faster. Do I want to get provision on Magnus, or do I care? Or do I pick up a Mani and get suzerainty? I think I'm going to pick up a Mani and get a suzerainty of Taruga. Getting suzerainty of Taruga would give me vision, it would give me power, it would give me diplomatic favor. It just increases my power level on the map significantly enough for it to be worth it for me to do. We have our first builder in Mashkin Shapir. We are available for chopping if we want to. We could do a little bit of chopping and trolling. There's a Temple of Artemis available. We can build it off of their furs. It's an interesting idea. I don't think it's worth it though. There's an argument to be made for chopping out the industrial zone in this city because it would give this city at least 3 production. And then it's also a district that's handled long term. And I can't really build settlers right now anyway. How much is a chop worth? I forget. I could quickly get this done before political philosophy is done. Or I could make more builders. I think I'm going to try to get a cheeky industrial zone here. I should really be settling. No. Builder it is. 39 production on jungle right now. So that means it would be 80 production on quarry and woods, which means 2 chops would finish the industrial zone. But yeah, let's go for the... Do I want to get the cheeky industrial zone? I don't know if the cheeky industrial zone is as cheeky as I think it is, when I think just getting more builders is the move. I don't understand why you didn't give Magnus provision if you're chopping settlers out of that city. I didn't give Magnus provision because I'm mostly chopping jungle, which means I'm going to be chopping food alongside my production, which means the cities aren't going to really be losing much food in the long run anyway, so it doesn't matter. I should have got a 3rd city earlier. I think that was where my big mistake was. Let's chop out this builder. We get him a turn sooner. I think I needed the 3rd monument. She wants to buy my strategics. I'll sell her my strategics. That's fine. Let's get in position on the deer. We're going to also buy the deer. We'll build a Palgum. We can do it in 5 turns. That's fine. There's another barb camp over here to the northeast that I need to deal with. No, I'm not doing the cheeky industrial zone. Cheeky builder chop. Boom. 2 turns away. So we'll have a bunch of builders ready to do chopping. Make sure we're buying those easy to get tiles. Huge forest fire over here, which is kind of a good thing for the city when we harvest everything. Political philosophy. Boom. This is where we switch it to high gear. This is where things start to pop off. We immediately grab ourselves Classical Republic. We immediately plug in both colonization and Ilcum alongside charismatic leader. Now we're getting production in every city. We're building settlers faster. We're building builders faster, which means we can now sort of activate the plan. The first step of the plan is to come in here and begin building the ancestral hall. 150 production. I get 50% increased builder production in towards settlers in the city. We do a chop and then a chop and then one more chop next turn. This will be instantaneously built. We can now start efficiently chopping out settlers in here. 1, boom, instant settler. Not even a split second's hesitation. Probably shouldn't have sent him this way because there's a forest fire. Probably wanted to go down. Instantly, boom, another settler. Chop, 2 turns from that settler. This is locust mode activated. We have activated locust mode, okay? The next time you see my empire, there's going to be like 500 cities. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.